Welcome back, everybody, and hello to anybody that is new here. I am Follygon, a professional digital sculptor, and in this speed sculpt, I spent 1 hour sculpting a male head inspired by Niyazi Selimoglu's art style. Now, I like to say if you are new around here, click that subscribe button, but even if you aren't, I want to encourage you to click that subscribe button. Almost 70% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. You wouldn't believe how many times even I myself have been watching a YouTuber for a long time and don't even realize that I'm not subscribed. So click the button, ring the bell if you want notifications. It helps the channel out a lot, which in turn helps me out a lot. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you are interested in learning more about digital sculpting, you can check out gumroad.com/Follygon for things like my custom brushes, online courses, and some free goodies. Let's go ahead and dive right into the process here. Starting off with the basic head block out, getting in all the main shapes there. I've really been enjoying experimenting with these super early stages of just kind of nailing down some of the proportions a little bit faster. I've found that this kind of newer combination of techniques that I've been playing around with has been working pretty well. So I'll probably be playing around with those more, trying to iterate and find where I can improve. Very messy right now. I always love looking back at my sculpts because in the moment when I am looking at something like this, I am not really focused on what my form really looks like too much. It's more so focusing on where things are going. It's kind of like if you had a block of stone and you were going to chisel a character out of it, pre-visualizing what that form inside of that block would look like. Now that I've been sketching heads a bit more frequently here, I have found different strategies for tackling different areas of the face. As I mentioned the larger proportions at the beginning of the video, I've been really enjoying kind of playing around with those early stages, trying to find out how to speed up my workflow there. I've also found some new techniques that I've really enjoyed for working on eyelids. I made a video recently where I sculpted a bunch of mouths, and in that time, I even discovered a few things about my own workflow that I think I could iterate on and play with to improve. I really like using brushes that carve into the surface to kind of sketch out or mark up the surface for where I will make changes later on. So I'll carve in just a very thin line to mark off the form underneath the lower lip. And then after a little while, I'll come back and actually depress in the form there with a clay brush or add form onto the sides of that lower lip to pull that out. I find this to be a helpful technique for myself to kind of mark up the surface to pre-visualize where I'm going to sculpt later on. It's very easy to work on one specific area and get tunnel vision and kind of lose sense of the entire whole. So that's where it's really helpful to sketch up a couple lines on your surface while focusing on the whole and then come back and work on those areas individually. I really want to play around with sculpting some more organic form. It's probably one of my weaker areas in terms of sculpting, specifically focusing on secondary shapes a little bit more. I very much kind of pride myself in creating some strong primary forms. It's kind of the fundamentals and what is one of the most important things of your entire sculpture. If that is not correct, no amount of additional form on top of that, or tertiary details like skin pores, wrinkles, etc., are going to make any difference. Primary, most basic form has to look good. So I'm very happy with my skills there. Obviously, we can all improve. I'm always looking for ways to improve there. As I mentioned, experimenting with the earlier stages of the head at the beginning. But my secondary forms are where I really want to focus right now. So that's why I've been doing a few more heads like this. One, it's just fun to get in there, sketch, play around with some different shapes, and just practice. But also I really want to improve on taking that primary shape to the next level, making it feel more fleshy, believable, and a little bit more realistic, as that's not something that I sculpt a ton of in comparison to my stylized work. Not that I can't, it's just one of my weaker areas. For reference, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this head took me an hour to complete. That is not a lot of time for a sculpture, and honestly, I'm surprised that I got as far as I did in only an hour. And what I want to be doing during that time is using these quick, small sessions to iterate on a lot of different characters, a lot of different heads, kind of like what I've been doing recently, and try to improve on each one of those. Kind of a quantity over quality mindset, at least right now. I've actually received lots of questions in the past, not recently that I can remember, about what to focus on of quality or quantity. If you are really new to sculpture, you really want to be focusing on quantity, getting your hour count up. But eventually, you're going to have to focus on quality. Ideally, you want to do both, right? For me, someone who's been sculpting for a long time, I kind of switch back and forth. And a lot of it could maybe be said to be based on mood or something like that, but it just really comes down to what I want to improve on and focus on for the time being. And most recently, that just so happens to be quantity, focusing on iterative work, and improving my secondary forms. I really want to try to be a bit more subtle with some of that work, as right now I feel like I kind of hit people over the head with it. It's very intense. And a lot of that comes from my work from Stylization, working with exaggerating shapes, pushing things to the absolute breaking point, and then nudging them back a little bit. So I really need to find that nice middle ground where I can kind of bring things back into a fleshy, more organic state, without feeling like it's pushing to a point where things just look absolutely ridiculous. With this sculpt, there's definitely a lot of exaggeration. This artwork is based off of the art style of Niyazi Selimoglu, who if you haven't seen, I definitely encourage you to check out. They are just a really incredibly talented digital sculptor, really recognizable style, and something that I wanted to use as a reference for an hour sketch as a little bit of a style study, and to just better understand how they work with their forms. Well, that's going to be all for this quick sketch, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click that subscribe button if you are new around here. Check out the links in the description for my online store and courses. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.